Sorry, Steve, before you do, I'd like to add to this as well. So just being part of the Customer Service Symposium events, and there is quite a bit of spice and quite a bit of banter that happens in there. So the panelists are definitely engaging, being part of just the audience sitting there and listening and understanding and having that ability to be able to take in all that information. I think it does definitely have a different set of how they do it.
It is differentiated from other events that I
Yes.
participate in the sense that it's not about the conference organisers trying to get the big sort of software vendors to pay a big fee and then promise them they're going to get footfall. That's such an old model, and I'm sure Lynn would agree with that in terms of how things used to be done. We have to do that thing that we've already discussed, is capture people's attention in 9 or 8 seconds. And how do you do that? Well, you probably do it by being somewhat controversial, putting challenging views out there, and then being able to validate where those views come from. So I'm going to stick with you, Nadia. I want to ask you a question. Is if I was one of your employees and I fancy going to a conference, how do I justify that to you? What do I need to be saying?
The only thing that I actually personally feel that you should be saying to me is I like the learning, number one. The second thing is I'd like to come back and make a change and a difference in our business. So whatever I learn out there, I'm willing to bring it back, and I'm willing to actually show what I've been taught. That's the only thing that I need to get.
Fantastic. And Mohammed Jamal from the floor suggests, perhaps the ability to challenge the person to say, come back and present what you've learned to the rest of the team, and in some instances the rest of the organization, so we can again distill that knowledge out. It's not just you're going to selfishly hold on to it now and keep it to yourself. It's actually being able to come back and then share that with other people as well. Another observation from the floor was perhaps every event should have an experience survey at the end of it, right? And my response to that is a bit controversial, probably. We should know in the event whether people are actually enjoying this and calibrating success. So again, to Lynn's point, though, if people are looking away and they're on Instagram or they're TikToking, well, somebody's talking, they've zoned out. Well, there's a way of looking at that and looking at the room and looking at the engagement in a room to be able to assess whether are we going in the right direction. And then, of course, course correct if need be. So it's a 2-day event, is to change up the agenda and let people know why you're doing that, so that you get their attention again in that less than 8 or 9 seconds. So I think we're getting towards the end of the time. So what I want to do is just thanks very much the panel. Thanks to the people in the community who've listened to the panel. And of course, this conversation isn't ending here now. This conversation is a rolling thunder. So if you've got thoughts and ideas, please share it with the panelists as well. Reach out, connect with them on LinkedIn, share their thoughts, and then we can put that all back into the mix as well. So with that in mind, Aloysius, I'm just going to hand back to you for a moment so you can do the sort of wrap up and encourage people to sign up for the Customer Service Symposium.